All right, welcome to the Gulf Coast Blitz here. We are live here as we get into week number 10. Appreciate everybody joining us here. We are live, we are loud, we are proud. Yes, we are. Good evening. Let's jam out a little bit, just slightly. There you go. All right, welcome to the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloorHSFootball.com and the FloorHSFootball.com social media networks. Appreciate everybody joining us here as we roll into week number 10. You got a question, got a comment, got anything for us, just post it in the comment box wherever you're watching us at on social media. That'd be Facebook, YouTube at FloorHSFootball, or X/Twitter at FLAHSFootball. And Rena's like, woo, let's go, Gulf Coast. All right. Yes, he's already fired up in the chat. There you go. Especially if you're on the YouTube side watching us, he is fired up in the chat, ready to go. And good evening, Emery. It's DeSoto week, and it's the 106th straight continuous game of Florida's oldest high school football rivalry. And both teams have played every single year since 1921, and two games played both in 1920 and 1924. And to many, these rivalry games sometimes are the most important game. You can lose every other game as long as you win this one. It is your Super Bowl. Yes, indeed. So, absolutely. So, definitely appreciate that. And yes, indeed, it is the 106th straight continuous game of Florida's oldest high school football rivalry. Unfortunately, Emery, it is not on the pick six this week. If in some years, if both teams are doing well, we would probably consider it. But I know DeSoto has been struggling more mightily than what even Hardy is. And Hardy did pick up a big win last week. So congratulations to your Hardy Wildcats there, getting that win over Northport. I believe it was 16-14. So, and put y'all back into the playoff hunt there in Class 3A Region 3. Right there at the number 8 seed, now 3-4 on the season. So there you go with the Hardy Wildcats. All right, as we roll into this, it is time for the Blitz Lines. Blitz Lines, week number 6 here, and week number 9. Sorry, why did I say week 6? Never mind. I'm thinking 6 of the 106, and I'm not doing numbers right this second, unfortunately. not fully. But we're going to do some numbers here, talk about scores here as we roll into this. And let's go with that. How about this? Frostproof stuns Mulberry in non-district action, 22-16. And Mulberry junior running back Travian Hayes that scored all the points for Camera again. I don't know why it keeps doing this tonight. I think there might be a software glitch going on between the connection between our stuff and StreamYard. So I apologize again if the camera goes out on y'all's end. I think there's actually a glitch going on between our connection and to StreamYard that we use. But Frostproof now 6-2 on the season and was able to extend its win the 4 game first loss of the 2024 season. So as Mark Cannon would say, the SSA beats FHA. Well, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. So there you go. And as we go rolling along here, how about Lakeland Christian picking up a road win at American Heritage Delray Beach, 40-26, and the Vikings. How about this? The Vikings are now 5-1 on the season, and they rebounded nicely with that win. And Killian O'Neill rushed for 4 touchdowns for the Vikings, and that helped the Vikings cruise to that 26 victory on the road in Delray Beach. And now Lakeland Christian moving up in their in the playoff rankings in Class 1A Region 2 up to number 3. They were number 5 last week, but now they're up to the number 3 seed. And Noli is saying good win for the Vikings here. If I can get that to come up here on the screen. I don't know why. There we go. Good win for the Vikings. There it goes. It finally popped up on the screen there. And I see some other comments popping in here. Hey, Charles Bell, I haven't seen you in a hot moment here on the show, but Lakeland played Specially Fit Academy. Then Dad was again on Monday night and rolled to 7-0 on the season, 46-14 victory. And not having 3 weeks of football, that kind of hurt, but there you go. You play a second district game against Kathleen, and then you'll have week 11 off, and then you'll play week 12 in that third district game against Sebring to finish the season. So good potential chance, depending on what happens on Friday night. Could Lakeland be a district champ, or will they have to wait until November 6th to find out? We will find out pretty soon here this week. And it surprised me a little bit. Frostproof upset Mulberry, but Frostproof does have very good talented players, and Richie Marsh is a great coach, yes, but but Frostproof, hey, when you need a big win, there you go. That is it right there, a big win. Oh, one from Eric. Please for the thing. There we go. Any word if Manatee will get a makeup game during the last 2 weeks of the season? Well, Manatee's been looking for a makeup game, not only 11-1, but potentially for 11-7, because they did lose a game during week 8. But I suppose Mark Cannon is saying that Manatee will play at Tampa Bay Tech on 11-7. We'll have to check on that, but I'll take Mark's word for it, because most likely that could be happening. If that happens, that'll be a huge game there in that special week of week 12 in the slot. It seems like they say they're playing on the first. Oh, Reno's saying the 1st to 7th. Yeah, no, most likely that's a potential yes. I think honestly, yeah, November 1st makes more sense, because all the Tampa Bay Hillsborough games that were scheduled for week 8. So there was a district game scheduled. Those were moved to November 7th. So that makes much more sense, Reno, that it would be November 1st. So that would probably slot in right there. That would fit really well for them. And so if that's the case, that'll be a huge game next week. We'll probably feature here on the Pick 6. And so if Lakeland wins, we're district champ. That is the question. We got to check and see what happens with Sebring. I need to look at Sebring's record first. Let's just double check and make sure everything. But yes, yeah. Well, Nolly's saying Lakeland's going to empty the bench against the Red Devils. So there you go. But Kathleen not doing so well. I don't think Kathleen's won a game yet this season, but Lakeland's 7-0. So when they say into the bench, it's not mean causing a fight. It just means that they're going to throw in the second and third string guys. That's what Noli means. So I can tell you that right now. That's not to start a fight, because we know sometimes clearing the bench means start a fight. No, that is not the case. It just means that Lakeland's going to put the younger players in, most likely in that game, because unfortunately that's probably how that game is going to go. Unfortunately. So, all right, as we roll along here, Victory Christian remains undefeated, 28-6 over Sun Lake. And how about this? First time that the Storm has gone 6-0 since 2017. And gotta give it hats up off to the Victory Christian Storm. They're looking pretty doggone good there. And there you go. Yeah, and Victory Christian, they've had some. They went on a scoring barrage to open the game, and just went from there. And they defensively did not give up a first down in the game there for the Victory Christian Storm. And now Victory Christian 6-0, ranked number 5 in their region, 9.095. They were number 4 last week. Kind of set. They flip-flopped they dropped a spot after Lakeland Christian went up 2 spots. And Sean Moy was like, if I can get it to come up. There you go. Yes, sir. Let's go Storm Nation. The Victory Christian Storm. He's fired up there. And Noli is saying, Coach Stewart doing great with that program. And Noli had another comment here, and it's about the Lakeland Kathleen game. And he said, it's sad how that rivalry has declined. And yeah, because that was one of the huge rivalries for years and years and years there in Polk County. And that rivalry has kind of gone by the wayside, unfortunately, despite the fact that both teams are typically in the same district year in and year out. So, all right, as we roll along here, we're going to go up into the North Suncoast, where we see Wiregrass Ranch squeaking out a victory over previously undefeated Springstead. And the visiting Bulls gave the host Eagles their first loss of the season. Dylan Rose Bailey for Wiregrass Ranch had a night that was a bit below average, of only 150 yards passing, no passing touchdowns. Ian Wilson, the second, scored both touchdowns for the Bulls, and Bryce Randolph accounted for 2 interceptions on defense. So yes, it is Wiregrass Ranch. We're honestly week 12. This was the game was supposed to be played in week 8 with Mitchell and Wiregrass Ranch. It seems like right now the way it's going, that those two teams will be undefeated when they get to meet in week 12, and that will be a huge game, and that will be a game we will feature on the Pick 6 come week 12, because that is going to be for all the marbles in District 7A9. yes, District 7A9. That'll be for all the marbles for a district title and potentially top seed in the in that region, in region class 6A. Sorry, class 6A region 3, where Wiregrass Ranch is 18.722 in the rankings. Mitchell 14.307. Wiregrass Ranch 1, Mitchell 3. But and Springstead didn't actually, that loss to Wiregrass Ranch didn't hurt them in their ranking. They're ranked number 4 in class 5A region 2, 10.418. And Charles Bell said, so Sebring's 4 in play. They play their second district foe, Lake Gibson, Friday, which is 3-4. Yes, that's the question. Let's see what happens there, because anything can happen in that particular game. And trying to get Reno's comment up here. He said the ranch is coming up strong, and which is interesting. The pairing right now has a battle of the ranches sitting there on the projected playoff bracket between Wiregrass Ranch and Lakewood Ranch. So there you go. A battle of the ranches may be brewing there. So, all right, let's roll into where Tampa Bay Tech continuing to roll here with what they've been doing. 35-3 over Durant, and that win for Tampa Bay Tech has got them in prime position potentially to get that number 2 seed in Class 5A Region 2 for the Tampa Bay Tech Titans. But right now they're sitting there at number 3, just slightly behind Edgewater, 15.967 to 15.459. And as it said here, Darian Jones, 13 to 23, passing 2 touchdowns, while 3 different athletes scored rushing touchdowns for the Titans. And defensively, Johnny Tyson and Jaquez Estera led the team with 7 tackles each, and Eric Parks had recorded a 19-yard interception. So, with that said, looking at this right now as we roll along here in this, in talking about this with Tampa Bay Tech, 35-3 over Durant, and that actually for Durant on their side actually ended up hurting them a little bit, because Durant was sitting there at the number 2 spot last week in Class 6A Region 2, and that loss to Tampa Bay Tech dropped them 2 spots to number 4. So again, all it takes is one loss, and the rest of the schedule is starting to come together, especially in this back half of the season, for rankings to start shifting a little bit, especially when you think you may have something in there, but you don't. Well, that's what happens. And Durant saw that, going from 2 to 4 in their power ranking. And of course, Tampa Bay Tech edging closer and closer to that number 2 seed. I don't think anybody's going to catch Lakeland, who is the number 1 seed in that region in Class 5A Region 2, which holds a significant power rating of 23.995. So I think Lakeland has that pretty much in concrete there in terms of that power of the ranking there for that number 1 seed, I should say. How about Plant City? They are turning some heads here, getting another huge victory, 59-28. And I said we haven't talked much about Plant City. They didn't have their stats up in the box score, but we can say this about Plant City. And Plant City, their 2 losses only come by a margin of 8 points. The 7-point loss to Durant in week 2, 28-21, and that 1-point loss to Steinbrenner, 45-44 in week 5. And the Raiders are going to do damage. I'm telling you this right now. The Raiders are going to do damage. You cannot ignore them. And they got a huge game against Newsom, which, again, we will talk about that game coming up here a little bit later in the show on the Pick 6. And by the way, we will talk about Durant and Bartow, Mark Cannon. You say Durant has a good chance, but yes, we will talk about Durant at Bartow, because that is a huge district 6A7 tilt, and we got the scenario of how this all can happen between both teams up for a district championship on the line here, potentially on Friday night. And well, it's time to get some water here. We're going to go take some water, get a little bit of a water break here, and then we'll come back and we will do Blitz Lines Part 2, go through some more headlines here as we continue along the trek along the Gulf Coast here on the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloatHSFootball.com. We'll be right back after this water break. Welcome back here to the Gulf Coast Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. And I know the chat's fired up. They're talking about, is it okay to drink Gatorade Zero, not water, during the water break? I mean, it's a water break, but you can drink whatever you wish. Drink Gatorade Zero, drink Powerade, drink Body Armor. Whatever you need to wet the whistle, as they would say. And I definitely think that is a good way to go. Hey, drink whatever your heart is content on drinking during the water break, when we have our water breaks here on the Blitz shows here on FloridaHSFootball.com. And I love this with everything. I love the chat, what we're seeing here in the chat here tonight. And again, if you got a question, got a comment, got anything you want to talk about, hit that up on the comments box wherever you're watching us at, and we will post those comments. All right, time for Blitz Lines Part 2. Cardinal Mooney remains undefeated, 41-13 victory over Sarasota Riverview. Devin Mignary, I have had to, this is not the first time I've tried to pronounce his last name. I have had a hard time doing over the last couple years, but he went 10-19 passing, 231 yards passing, and 3 touchdowns, while also rushing for a TD of his own in the victory. And Bo Daniel led in receiving 115 yards and 3 catches and scored a touchdown. Greg Robinson led in tackles for the Cougars with 13 total and 4 tackles for a loss. And McCain Brown had an interception and deflected 2 passes. And with that said, Cardinal Mooney remains undefeated. They are the top-ranked team in Class 2A Region 3. Their power rating 17.741. And they got an interesting game coming up this week, and that is the game that we'll be talking about, and with District 2A9. So we will talk about Cardinal Mooney in Tarpon Springs. Yes, big district game coming up this week, coming up on the Pick 6. All right, going into Manatee. Manatee handing Palmetto their first loss. How about this? 35-7, and Andrew Heidel, 4 passing touchdowns, going 14-17 for 217 yards, and 4 different receivers catching those touchdown passes. And defensively, the Hurricanes recorded 34 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 2 interceptions to send Palmetto back to the other side of the Manatee River with a loss. So, yes, a big rivalry game between the two schools right there, divided by the Manatee River, and the Manatee Hurricanes sent the Palmetto Tigers right back to the other side of the river with a big L, and their first L of the season. And as we saw in the power rankings on the Drive the State show last night, Palmetto fell 2 spots. Palmetto was number 2 last week, and then they dropped it down to number 4 with that loss to Manatee. And Manatee still holding the number 1 spot in Class 5A Region 3 at 19.766. Likely going to be cementing a very firm spot in that number 1 position in Class 5A Region 3. The next team up, number 2, North Fort Myers, they're sitting there 13.857. So if Manatee and Tampa Bay Tech play, that's only going to significantly concrete that power rating even further, regardless of win or loss, I believe. And yes, Mark Cannon, you're absolutely right. Saw Manatee play Buchholz earlier this year, and Manatee's front 7 is definitely that. And they play football. They come and play really, really hard, and that's what we saw out of Manatee. In their front 7 is just getting stronger. There it goes. Okay. Mariners, Charlotte slips by Mariner late, 35-28. Charlotte had a big significant lead going into the halftime, but Mariner got back into the game and scored 28 unanswered points. And they had a lead at one point, 28-20 going into the 4th quarter, but Charlotte kind of got things going right there in that late 4th quarter, and got the win down on a Jazzy McDaniel 22-yard run, which made it 35-28 with 27 seconds left in the game to take the victory. And Charlotte right now sitting there 5-2 on the season, ranked number 6 in Class 5A Region 3. So, and of course, Port Charlotte was supposed to play Week 8, and they are, as Emery brings up here in the comment, Port Charlotte versus Charlotte in 2 weeks. Glad they were able to reschedule that rivalry to the last week. And yes, because I know that was a game that was potentially going to be canceled. So we'll go from see what happens there. But I'm glad those two teams are going to be able to play. And again, that huge game there, a rivalry game there in Charlotte County. And Reno is saying, for those who are watching the chat and having fun, hit us with the subscribe button. Yes, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Please. We would greatly appreciate it. We're getting that closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber mark on YouTube. So if you got a YouTube account, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we'll appreciate it. Oh, really, Mark? Your daughter is a cheerleading coach for Charlotte. Oh, that's nice. Yes, I know those Fighting Terrapins are going to be ready for when Port Charlotte for that Port Charlotte game at the end of the season. What a way to close out the season, by the way, to have that game actually as the final game before playoff time. Good tune-up for both teams right there. Yes, indeed. All right. How about Cape Coral surging here? Cape Coral stuns Riverdale. Riverdale kind of looked a little rusty there, but Cape Coral 13-6. And as we talk about it here, Cape Coral 5-1 in Class 5A Region 3. And then with that said, Riverdale sitting there at number 4. So Cape spots they were last week and are now at number 4. And but there's not much difference between the power rating between these two teams. Cape Coral 5-1, Riverdale 6-1. Cape Coral 12.711, Riverdale 12.095 on their power rating. So with that said, playoff race is definitely getting tight, but Cape Coral definitely takes a big victory right there over Riverdale and stunning them. And got to give it up to the Seahawks for that big victory. I know some people were waiting for me to weigh on this. Oh, my good golly, Port Charlotte. What did you do to Dunbar? Just totally gashed them is what they did in that Class 4A District 12 contest. 39-7 Dunbar, as Mark Cannon may have pointed. I think it was Mark Cannon that pointed out last night. Dunbar looked lifeless, and this score reflects that very, very easily. And yes, by the way, if you remember last week, Dunbar was ranked number 1 in the district in the region based on but there was a faulty result, and that may have caused some things to skew. But Dunbar, hey, here's the thing: Dunbar's going to have to win out in order to potentially host any games in the region, and that's in Class 4A Region 3. This is what it looks like right now. Naples 1, Port Charlotte 2, Clearwater 3, Dunbar 4. So Naples and Port Charlotte are playing this week, and that is going to be a huge game that we will talk about on the Pick 6 as well. Yes, some big games this week here in the Gulf Coast and of course elsewhere as well. Gulf Coast, I was trying to figure out what games to put on here, but I got a good selection of district games that are going to decide a lot of things here. One non-district game too as well on the list, but it's going to have playoff implications regardless because it will affect the playoff rankings for the two teams in this one non-district contest that's on the list. But everything else, district games, district titles on the line with these games this week that we will talk about on the Pick 6. But Port Charlotte, just literally taking it to the Tigers, giving the Tigers the business at home, 39-7. And honestly, looking at this with everything, the Pirates just scored on 4 consecutive drives, and that's how you do it right there. Is you sometimes it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And for Port Charlotte, who struggled early in that game, they finished very well. And good for Port Charlotte there. And Marino is saying Port Charlotte's letting people know who they are. Yes, they are. And Port Charlotte says there is no Iron team. That is correct. There is no Iron team. And Marino is saying, yes, you do, Josh. You made the picks really hard for me. Ooh, I like that. All right, last but not least, in terms of the headlines here and these blitz lines, how about this? Venice outlasting Clearwater Central Catholic in a battle of heavyweights, and it was 27-20 in that game. Jason Nixon 15 of 18 passing and 169 yards for Venice, while Deshaun Newton went 11 of 18 for CCC, 167 yards passing, and in addition had 106 yards rushing and a touchdown. And got a wilder for Venice. How about he did the most damage, 265 yards rushing on 21 carries, and both teams are now 7-1 on the season. And But Venice pick up a big road win at CCC, and now Venice looking to play. Venice has got Sarasota this week. That most likely, let's go ahead and wrap up the district for them in their district, and that will be District 7A8. Right now, they are holding a pretty solid 265 rushing. Are we playing NCAA? Wow. Okay. Are we playing NCAA on Xbox? Ooh, I mean, I haven't played NCAA in a long while, and I still have the old versions, not the new version. So, yes. Mark Cannon says, despite the loss, good showing by CCC. Yes, indeed. Good showing regardless of that result, because that was a good game and a good matchup. But Venice, 23.907. They pretty much got a solid hole on that number one seed, pretty much kind of cemented there. And likely will go ahead and just wrap up the whole entire district. And it's, oh, man. Yes, indeed. Venice, 23.907. Now, for Clearwater Central Catholic, their power rating is 17.482. That still has them at number 2 in Class 1A Region 2. They're behind First Academy, who has the number 1 spot right now at 22.563. So, but Clearwater Central Catholic has a big game with St. Francis Academy out of Maryland. That's their homecoming game this week. Not a game we're going to feature on the Pick Six, because there's some bigger games here in terms of district titles that mean more with that. And we're going to talk about that coming up here in a moment here on the Pick Six. Got questions, got comments, leave them in the chat box. We will be having the Pick Six, and if you get ready, you'll be able to participate in the Pick Six with your comments, with your thoughts and replies on these games coming up here. So take note, get ready for the Pick Six. We're going to be doing that coming up here right after this next water break. You're watching the Gulf Coast Blitz right here on FloydHSFootball.com and the FloydHSFootball.com social media networks. We'll be right back right after this 2-minute water break. Here on just appreciate everybody watching us here, and we come to the live here FloydHSFootball.com app and FloydHSFootball.com on YouTube, I should say, and on social media as well. Appreciate everybody watching us here. You got any questions, got any comments, but go ahead and pop those in the chat. We'll get to those here as we finish rolling along here with the show here. But if you got a pick game you want to play along with the Pick Six, you can put your comment inside the box. Definitely appreciate everybody watching here as we do this. And you know what time it is? It's that time for the Pick Six. Yes, indeed. It is that time here. And we're going to roll into the results from last week. I was 5-1. Reno, 1-5. Oh, man. Oh, man. But you're learning, Reno, so I give you a pass there. We could just flip that to 5-1 and call it even. But anyways, we're going to roll along here, and with the results for the season at 38-14 at 73.1% right so far on the games pick this season. So, yes, indeed. All right, we talked about this game a bit ago. Durant 5-3 at Bartow 5-2. A huge District 6A7 tilt. Durant wins the district title with victory. Here's the situation. Durant would win the district title with a victory, and a Bloomingdale lost to Riverview. Bartow wins the district title with a win, and Riverview lost to Bloomingdale. So these scenarios have to happen in the order that I read them in, like this. For Durant, Durant has to win, and you have to have Bloomingdale lose to Riverview. For Bartow, win the district title and have Riverview lose to Bloomingdale. So that is how it will goes right there. Honestly, what bothers me about Durant, I'm not exactly sure. It just seems like when there's a big game, I can't. It seems like they don't come up big in these big games or find a way to make these big games competitive. And this is where I struggle in terms of trying to take Durant, and that's why I am going the opposite way. I am going Bartow. Now, Mark Cannon's going with Durant they said Durant better win. However, Noli is going with Polk County, and he's going Bartow on this one. And I can't wait to see who Reno is going to pick, because I know Reno said I made it hard for him to pick for these games this week, because he already knows what the games are, and I've made it hard for him for these games, because these are 6 good games, 6 games that are going to impact the playoff rankings very, very significantly. And again, Durant wins the district title with a victory, and a Bloomingdale loss to Riverview. Bartow will win the district if they win with a Riverview loss to Bloomingdale. So that is the scenario right now. District 6A7 between Durant 5-3 and Bartow 5-2. And usually I'm trying to see if Reno's going to have that pick yet, but we may have to move. Well, I'll wait for Reno's pick here for a moment. But if you got any question or comment anybody with this, just let me know, and we'll pop that up here as we roll along here on the Central Florida. I mean, the Gulf Coast Blitz. My brain. It happens. All right, I'm going to roll into the next pick here. I'll bring up Reno's pick here once he gets that popped him into the chat here. I haven't seen it come up in the chat here. But rolling into the next one, we got Tarpon Springs at Cardinal Mooney. Tarpon Springs 5-2, Cardinal Mooney 7-0. Huge District 2A9 title game on the line. Okay, so simple as that. Cardinal Mooney wins, they take the title. No questions about that one. All right. Now, however, if Tarpon Springs went, the fate of the district would be decided on November 7th when Lakewood travels to Tarpon Springs. So, with that situation, Reno popped him on Facebook, and he's like, wait, hold on. Reno popped him on Facebook. I think he may have slipped between changing between YouTube and Facebook here. He said, too much happening here with outcomes, which is why Durant will run right through Bartow and avoid a mess. Ooh, okay. All right, we're kind of split half and half right there. You don't take it easy. I appreciate it, Emery. You're making me laugh. Thank you very much. All right, as we roll along here. All right, here we go. We got more picks. Cardinal Mooney. So y'all are going Cardinal Mooney. Well, my pick is Cardinal Mooney for this game. Cardinal Mooney, Sarasota County, baby. Noli is going Cardinal Mooney, and Ron Salata is going Mooney wins by 3 times. It said it posted 3 times on YouTube, and it never showed up on my end, Reno. It never showed up. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if it... I'm gonna have to check that because it's not showing up on the on my YouTube side. So I don't know on the comment box it should say, but Reno is saying Cardinal Mooney has had a fantastic season at 7-0, and the Cougars will continue to scratch another team. Well, there you go. Reno's picking there at 7-0, picking the Cardinal Mooney Cougars to win against Tarpon Springs and go ahead and take that district title. All right. Osceola, Kissimmee Osceola 6-2 at Lake Wales 5-2. This was another game that was mentioned by Mark Cannon in the Central Florida Blitz. And we're going to talk about that one now. A huge game, a lot of playoff implications for both teams. Not a district game, by the way. But this can be a huge game for either team. Right now, as we talked about, Osceola sitting there at number 2 in Class 6A Region 2. Behind Armwood, who is at number 1. And then for Lake Wales, right now sitting at the number 3 spot in Class 4A Region 2. So number 3 spot, I should say, in Class 4A Region 2. Lake Wales, a loss here could drop them a little bit, potentially, based upon we've got Leesburg sitting there behind them at 8.668. Lake Wales, 9.864 is their rating. Leesburg is at 8.668. Zephyr Hills, 8.389. So that makes things a little interesting if Lake Wales loses this game to Osceola. And but for Osceola, does this would a win help them here? Catch Armwood, maybe not necessarily not, but a loss could potentially drop them a little bit in the race. So honestly, I'm going with the Cowboys here. I'm kind of wondering if Lake Wales is going to kind of a bit recover after lost to Jones. So here we go. All right, with the picks here, Osceola or Lake Wales. I did a shoe flip and the toe pointed to Lake Wales at home. I like that. Noli is sitting with Lake Wales and that being the other black and orange school in Polk County. Yep, there you go. Osceola at Lake Wales, one of my favorite stadiums. Lake Wales, stay at the stadium there in Lake Wales, not on campus, by the way. And nice stadium, nice view there. And Mark Cannon, I believe, are you taking Osceola, Mark Cannon? Is that one of my understanding there is? But I'm taking Osceola now. Emery's like, I think UFOs have been causing all these glitches tonight. Oh my gosh. Emery's come with the jokes tonight. I like it. Good work, Emery. Appreciate that. Yes. Mark Cannon said he's going with Osceola. Michael Reno saying UFOs are ghosts of football. Ooh. And Emery's saying he's joined all the humor tonight. So, yes, indeed. All right, on to our next game. Going down I-75 into Lee County. We have the District 5A 11 title on the line between Riverdale 6-1 and North Fort Myers 6-1. Here's the scenario. North Fort Myers victory gives them the title outright. Riverdale victory along with a Fort Myers loss to East Lee County gives Riverdale the district title. So that is how it will work out. So North Fort Myers win. They have the district title. Riverdale will need a little help to get that district title in hand, but that is the situation. And however, for me, I am going to roll with those North Fort Myers Red Knights. Yes, I am taking the Red Knights for the victory over the Riverdale Raiders. And I believe that North Fort Myers will just go ahead and take care of business at home and secure that district title once and for all with that game. And we'll wait for everybody's comments to come in on the game pick here between Riverdale and North Fort Myers. Again, North Fort Myers victory gives them the title. Riverdale victory, along with Fort Myers loss to East Lee County, gives Riverdale the district title. And Mark Cannon popping in saying North Fort Myers. Nolly's going the opposite and saying Riverdale. And Reno thinks the Red Knights are not ready to lay down their lance at North Fort Myers wins by 3. Ooh, there you go. I like it. All right. As we roll into our next game, we talked about Plant City and Newsom. This is a huge game. The District 7A7 title on the line. Either team wins, they will be the district champs regardless of the district games left. So Plant City 6-2 at Newsom 6-2. Newsom missed the playoffs last year. Plant City made the playoffs, but I'm really believing that Plant City would be 8-0 if it weren't for the two losses by a total combined of 8 points. And the Plant City Raiders are just looking really, really strong here. And Newsom, I'm not so sure. Newsom's gotten better, but I don't think they're ready for what Plant City's got. And that's where I am taking the Plant City Raiders. And Reno is going Plant City as well, rooting itself in the ground and taking the win. And Nolia is saying Plant City as well. I can't wait to see what Mark Cannon has to say about this game, because I know we have been talking about this game as well in the chat. All right, with the final game. Oh, Mark Cannon is going Newsom, so we got a kind of a 3-1 split here for the pick here. But this next big game, and the big game that we've got left on the list here, I think everybody kind of knows where we're going with this game. We're headed back down I-75 to Staverfield, where Port Charlotte 5-2 will take on the Naples Golden Eagles 7-1. So Naples hosting Port Charlotte, District 4A 12 title on the line. Here you go. Here's your scenarios on this one. Simple as this for Port Charlotte. Win, you clinch the district. Naples, you clinch the district with a victory and a South Fort Myers loss to Dunbar. So that is what has to happen here for Port Charlotte or Naples to win the District 4A 12 title this week. And Reno is already ready. Got the comment in there. Golden Eagles going to soar to the win. So you're going Naples. Well, my pick is Naples. And Emory Williams-Smith saying Port Charlotte, Naples should be a good, exciting, close game. I predict Port Charlotte to win. Port Charlotte beat Dunbar by 32. Naples only beat them 1-1 in overtime. But Staverfield is a whole different situation, in my opinion. It's a tough place to play. Very loud. A lot of good fans down there. Naples High. I've been down there to a game at Staverfield. Good atmosphere there. Good football atmosphere for Naples High School. And Nola is saying Golden Eagles. And, Mark Cannon says, I'm using your picking method, but he's going by Port Charlotte. So we've kind of got a bit of a split consensus here. And either way, either one of those two teams will make a good district champion there coming out of 4A District 12. But, there you go. So, looking at that is the pick 6 for week 10 here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. 6 big games with the pick 6 here as we wrap things up here on this Wednesday night and get ready for week 10, setting the table. And then, of course, we'll be getting ready for week 11 here, and a lot going on with that as we start to see what happens here. With the playoff races, we're going to kind of have some more district titles decided this week, and then we're going to see what the playoff rankings give us in that update. And appreciate it, Emory. Thank you so much. Enjoyed listening to you once again, Josh. Great show. Appreciate you, Emory, always tuning in and being part of the show, and appreciate it as well. If you enjoy the show, yes, indeed. Don't forget, if you enjoy the show in the comments, hit that subscribe button to show your love. Yes, hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Florida HS Football, at Florida HS Football on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Please hit that subscribe button. And Eric Daniels saying, great show. Appreciate it, Eric. Thank you so much for tuning in as well. Appreciate everybody joining us here on the Gulf Coast Blitz. And we will see you next Monday night for the Gulf Coast Blitz at 8:30 to 9:15. Of course, we'll have all our shows back in normal time slots next week as we get ready for week number 11. Reno, thanks, everyone. I enjoyed it tonight. Yes, indeed. Appreciate you, Reno. Love you, man. All right, everybody. Yes, we're going to be – no, the shows that next week will be Monday and Tuesday, Mark. That's what we're going to get back into the normal schedule, Monday and Tuesday. So, all right. Appreciate it, everybody. See ya, and have a great week 10.